So basically, the whole thing is reliant on the player to pick out a bunch of detail that there's absolutely no reason to suspect the player is able to do, and the whole thing is just bullshit. In conclusion, that's a paddling.
Perfect timing with a cutscene.
Right?
Jesus, what did that train do to that thing?
I think that train made that thing do a very bullshit environmental perception puzzle to get an artifact. I empathize greatly with the tentacle monster from hell. I mean, is the game gonna...
We're gonna use our power of foreknowledge and send this guy down the road.
I mean, is there... Who wouldn't think that, having been foreshadowed in this manner, that there wouldn't be more surprise wall tentaclings?
Yeah, suffice to say, you do not want to just walk down there on your own.
It seemed like such a good idea at the time.
And we've got this power to just punch mobile objects very long distances. Like, it's just right. The whole thing is fitting.
So this dungeon's kind of weird because it doesn't I guess this room here is the closest you ever get to, like, a mini-boss of sorts?
One that we're just gonna skip through.
Like, it's just, like, 2 or 3 dudes of the big dudes, and that's it.
Is it like, I was gonna say, is it even really like a mini-boss, or is it just, like, a fight that's slightly difficult?
Yeah, no, it's just, like, it's a slightly more difficult fight. And it's, like, the only... Maybe not the only one, but, like... Other than the room in which we literally got the gauntlet, there is... Like you said, there's almost no real combat in this dungeon.
At least they gave you some cars.
It's very... The combat and the puzzle solving in this dungeon seem to be very, like, separate from one another.
Sometimes that's good.
Yeah, but this is really, like, weighted to one... Like, this is really... You got a lot of puzzles on one side, and then you have, like, a lot of combat. And they don't really, like, intermingle. The most that you see with, like, enemies seems to be those little flying bugs or whatever that you can grab out of the air. And they seem to be in a bunch of rooms, even ones with puzzles, but it's not... Oh, hello, buddy.
It's also just kind of difficult to design both an area and a combat system and enemies and combat encounters all at the same time in a way that makes them play off each other.
I suppose.
Like, that's just real difficult to do, especially if you want to make it, like, in any way meaningful, but at the same time not total bullshit.
You found the compass.
We sure did. So... The Horde Seeker is... Yeah, it's literally the compass. It's mostly notable in that, for whatever reason, they tend to put it towards the end of dungeons. So it's more of a, hey, look at all the shit you missed, dumbass. But the other thing that's special about it is that the Horde Seeker is not just in dungeons. There is a Horde Seeker for the overworld, which will show you where everything that you have missed across the entire game is.
That's good.
Well, that's handy, yeah.
It's an interesting decision given how much bigger the overworld is than everything, but
I mean, I am firmly of the opinion that all games of this type where there's a whole bunch of stuff that you should do and miss that have a large explorable world should, frankly, eventually start giving you concessions about finding stuff. Like, it's all very well to say, like, oh, hey, we made this massive world and it's meaningfully full of things and you can explore organically and find things, and that's great, I'll eat that shit up. But eventually, it's going to be different for every player, but sooner or later, everyone's going to hit a point where they are running out of stuff, and they want to get all the stuff because maybe they're a broke-brain completionist like me, or maybe they just actually want to get all the stuff, or one particular thing, and they don't know where it is.
If the game properly tracks like 100% or something, or gives you a reward for 100%, then let me have a way to get to that 100%. That isn't just, oh, you happened to look through some scenery and found a tiny morph ball tunnel behind some leaves.
Exploring is good and great, but scouring is horseshit. And eventually the game has to segue from one into the other, and that's the exact point where they need to start giving you stuff. Like, I had this idea that, like, say you've got a game that has like 100 whatever secret collectibles around, and that the first you have to look and, like, with your eyes and think with your brain to find them. But as you start collecting them, each one you collect gives you the ability to sense them from further and further away. So the less of them there are left, the more obvious they're made from, like, very far away to start showing up on your minimap. It's that kind of weight. The less stuff there is, the easier it needs to be to scour everything. As I recall, the Metroid Prime 3 did that with almost all of its stuff. There was a point eventually where you could launch satellites, except that one fucking planet where you can't satellite it.
I don't remember roughly how far into the game it was, but yeah, after a certain point, they were just literally like, here's where every single fucking collectible is.
Not even all at once. There were 5 separate things, I think, that you could launch, and some of them were blocked off, and you'd had to go to the pirate world.
Yeah, you come back with items for them. And it was good, because it was kind of like a progression of, hey, here's a bunch of stuff. But yeah.
Except the one fucking planet where there was no satellite for, and you just had to know where all this... Was it even the planet, or was it the ship?
It might have been the ship. I don't remember. Because I haven't done that LP yet.
Yeah. How's that going, by the way? Don't answer that. The point is that most of the stuff, it just... Eventually, it will just put it on a map for you. And that's good. I think that's how it should be. These are my thoughts about collectibles in video games.
I'm glad we have you for them. Oh, horns. I heard horns for once.
Yeah, there's that BGM.
It showed up finally.
It was so nice of it to come in and literally the final room of the dungeon.
I was so taken aback that I completely forgot the one minor incremental thing that I was about to say.
Horns will do that.
But yeah, so that was the Hollows. We did it.
Let's go kill something.
Kinda linear, isn't it?
Oh, water slide? Water slide. Oh, underwhelming. You can't set up a water slide like that and have it be so short.
So, you may want to shatter some of this ice before the boss shows up. A little foreknowledge goes a long way in this fight.
I get the feeling ice is going to be a thing.
You know, I'm pretty sure... I feel like I remember that you could punch the train cars and the ice, it would just smash through the ice.
It does, but here's the thing. So you see how the boss... So now that the boss has hit the ice with its big laser, now we can't break the ice.
Yeah. That's why you punch the train car from back.
It's going to be real awkward to talk to him now. We're going to have to break out the generic small talk.
You may also note that the boss has only one attack, which is to fire its laser.
I also note that the ice eventually turned back. Is it on a timer?
Yeah, after so long after being hit, it turns back to normal.
I also noticed that it seems to have an ice stick.
Yeah.
Can we punch it?
We might be about to punch that ice stick.
Good. Good, good.
So yeah, the next minute or so is me desperately trying to figure out how I can not make that stupid laser not hit the ice.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, this is not video games. This is bad.
In fact, I think this is peak video games. Where else other than video games with a heat laser turn ice into like invulnerable ice?
Can't get too close though, because you will get knocked away.
I guess if you get close enough, then he'll do that attack instead, and it'll stop being frozen. There we go.
I mean, the shockwave is annoying, but the shockwave is also not the laser.
So now that we have cleared the way,
Are we gonna punch him with the train car?
let's introduce the boss to our friend, the train car.
Giving new meaning to the phrase "drop a train on him."
Ah, he can do it too, but not as effectually.
So there's supposed to actually be a challenge there where, like, if you try to hit it again like that, he will immediately, he'll try and drop a stalactite on you, which, you know, is supposed to knock you away and make it harder to hit him again, but, it does so little damage, and it's so easy to beat that timer that you just, like, it's literally punch, wait for it to return, punch it immediately, and there's nothing he can do.
You know, I'll be honest. This is actually the only boss that I remember of this entire game. Like, this dungeon and this boss, so you got me here for the perfect thing.
Like, as a set piece, I can respect it.
I don't know why I remember this specifically, but...
Because you punched a boss in the eye stick with a train car?
yeah, maybe. That's probably...
Like, this is some boss design.
This is very video games.
We've gone from peak video games in a good way to peak video games in a bad way, and right back up to peak video games in a good way. Like, this is somebody attempting to channel the grand spectacle video game and kind of getting there, but not really having the budget to back it up.
Now, speaking of video games, I have a feeling that this is about to do the video games thing of, we've hit it twice now. We should probably hit it a third time, and then we'll win.
But will it have a clutch attack? But it does during the third phase.
I don't know, it looks like we're just about to hit him in the dick again, to be honest.
Do you consider lasers that can't actually hit you while you're charging up the punch to be a clutch attack?
I mean, a new clutch attack. I mean, he was doing the lasers already.
I guess the answer is gonna be no.
Well, this boss fight was conceptually kind of nothing, except kind of entertaining.
Are we going for round 4?
No, the boss is on has a certain amount of health, and I did not, in fact, deplete it in 2 rounds.
Well, 3 rounds or 4, the point that I'm about to make still stands, which is that this boss is briefly entertaining, only a tiny bit bullshit, but still over pretty quickly. And you know what I've repeatedly said about things in video games that are kind of bullshit but over quickly?
They're bearable.
This gets the nod of respect from me.
It's too bad he's not just a little bit more threatening, and that this doesn't, like, evolve as a fight.
Yeah, this is a very one-note fight. Although, not as one-note as...
This would have been nice to do in gameplay.
Yeah.
It's not as one-note as the next boss, but...
Ow. Ow. Ow.
In a Platinum game, this would have been a QuickTime event, and we could mash the button, and it would be one smash per mash. And it would rule. And there'd be an incredible butt rock theme playing the whole time. But you know, this isn't bad.
Oh, we can't show that to kids. We can't show that part to kids. We gotta cut that off.
No, this is fine. This is good. This is acceptable.
Also, to be fair, I mean, the whole train smashing thing, it would have been a quick time event in a Platinum game, but we did that literally the entire fight anyway, so...
Yeah, but it would have been the triumphant train smash. The one where we do it repeatedly, rather than, like, just once.
Now, let's get this thing back to Samael.
Ah. There's only so much I can expect. This thing is a thing that's missing somewhat, but it's not a problem. I cannot hate the game for this.
Welcome back, horseman. You could have knocked, but I suppose that isn't your way, is it? Why are you here? Strange question, seeing as how you're the one broke into my house. You weren't always the Black Hammer. You huddle in exile, a hermit among tombstones. Why? What role did you play in this, Ulthane? Horseman, I've got something for you. A fair bit of work, but it's a bit dainty for me. It'll serve you better.
Oh, I forgot you just get a gun.
Cool.
I can't believe they just gave Link a gun.
Old one. Maybe I like the scenery, was it to you? You asked for my help and I gave it. You go on being ungrateful and I'm liable to get upset.
I mean, surely he would not have handed him a loaded gun.
Do I look like I'm afraid of death, boy? It's not death you should fear.
It's war?
Yeah, death is too busy in another game.
So yeah, Ulthane just gave us an infinite ammo pistol.
Sweet. Is it good?
It's okay. It does not do much damage, as you would probably expect, but it can be upgraded.
I'm guessing it's gonna do the thing where like it's a good range constant pressure thing rather than a big damage dealer.
Good for building combos, I guess.
But yeah, so that's the Hollows. Next time it's back to Samael.
Oh boy, I can't wait.